Hello, everyone. My name is Nate Tennant. I am a product manager for our business apps and automation space. I also have Alexander Spitzen with me here today, who's going to do the fun demo portion of our segment. And I will fly through the slides just so we can spend most of our time on the demo. But in SharePoint, we think of automation across a continuum of native capabilities, no-code solutions, all the way up to integrations with our friends in Power Platform. Today, we're going to talk a lot about kind of these first two buckets and how we're building things directly into SharePoint. There are lots of different scenarios you can think about for automation. These are just a few that might trigger some ideas for you. And then we know that organizations all have kind of shared practices across different different orgs within the company. And so you might think of something like device management or morale budget. These are great ways to go and build lightweight solutions that can be reused across the company in templates. Now, in the lightweight automation space, we have kind of three main areas we're going to talk about today. Rules, which have been around SharePoint for a while, mostly are for sending email notifications. We'll talk about those and a few tweaks and updates that are coming there. Approvals, which have been around for about 2 years in a direct integration with Teams in the Approvals app. And lastly, a new concept called Quick Steps that we're excited to show and demo today. Rules, if we start with those, are typically used for email notification. You get a very simple dialog builder, lets you go in, choose your schema based on your SharePoint list or library, and then configure kind of the conditions. We are adding some new capabilities, like the ability for the new item trigger to be able to use conditions. Previously, only the modified trigger was able to do that. So you'll start to see some improvements around conditioning and rules that make them more useful, helpful to kind of tailor the content so you can tune those notifications to just what you need, as well as be on the lookout for some new date-based actions and some custom text that are coming as well. Approvals, as of this week, are available in any library. Like I said, they've been around the list space in a couple of templates for about 1.5 years. If you don't see this just quite yet, we're rolling out to kind of the full 100% of GA this week. So you should see it very, very soon if you don't already. But in the Automate dropdown, any list or library, you get the simple toggle to go and configure approvals. That means you don't have to go and wire up a custom Power Automate flow. You can integrate kind of a manual approval process right within SharePoint and then get that nice notification in Teams. Alex is going to do some demos on that. Available in all regions. Yes, it will be in the next couple weeks. This is not limited to any specific region. And the cool thing here is the approvals come with the Teams notification, but if you wanted to do, say, just a very simple email, you could key off that assigned to, or the approval status column, and then kind of go and get that simple email. Or if you want a more custom logic, then you can go into Flow. All right, so into the new space. So quick steps are similar to rules, but you can think of these as kind of a manual trigger rule. If you're familiar with the flow space, that is a, for a selected item or for a selected file, we're bringing that right into the SharePoint list or library with an initial set of actions that you can go in and predefine. The ability to use kind of the schema of the list and put a custom action in there, just like you would with a custom formatter, but not having to do custom JSON. So pretty cool way to say, send an email to a people column or start a chat with the people column, set multiple values, send an approval request, just one click of a button, or kind of a favorite one here is execute a flow, which does not have to be in the default environment, which we know a lot of folks have been asking for. Here's what that looks like in terms of the builder. Similar to rules, you go in and set kind of the fields that you want to take action on. You give your quick step a name, and then we have some conditions coming soon for the ability to say, only show this if certain values are met, kind of tuning actions to what you want. And then you can see here, and at this example, I went and selected 3 files. In the Automate dropdown, I have my mark invoice date quick step, which matches the name that I have over here. So I can go in, This quick step in this example would say the invoice date column, which you can see here, set that to today. So I don't have to go through each one to the date picker and kind of select, just do that automatically. Handy way to start to fill out your metadata, kick off some custom processes that will continue to kind of add more capabilities and ways you can expose these quick steps. Really quick roadmap highlight before the demos. Like I said, approvals available just about today. If you don't see it, very, very soon. A new trigger enhancements around the conditions of rules. And you're going to see more around the quick steps rolling out in about the next month. Bringing things like staged and sequential approvals is a very common ask we get. We're also going to wire up the SharePoint connector, which I'll save that one. Alex is going to show how that'll work, and some more rules capabilities. Lots more to come in this space across both SharePoint and Teams, thinking about how we bring more and more capabilities kind of right in line to your lists, doclib, sites, pages, making flow integration a lot easier. With that, let's jump into the fun part. Alex, you ready to take over for the demo?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yep, gotcha.
Okay, awesome. Just was responding to the chat. Send this out. Okay, awesome. Let me share first. Okay, cool. So let's do some. So yeah, welcome. My name is Alexander. I'm the engineering manager for the business applications and that team. All the features that Nate shared. Basically, my team owns the integration with Power Platform, SharePoint connector, SharePoint rules, quick steps now, approvals, and all of that. Just FYI, before we end the meeting, I will be at the M365 conference. So if you want to geek out on SharePoint automation or customization, I will be in the booth most of the time, and I might join Ashu for one of the sessions that I will share later in the chat. But yeah, let's go here. So today I'm going to do the live demo of lightweight approvals and some other features that we're shipping. So here I have just a blank document library in SharePoint. I pre-uploaded some of the files just so that it's faster, but essentially it's just a blank library. There is no features available here yet. So the approvals that we're shipping for the document libraries are very easy to enable. You just go to the automate, configure approvals, click the toggle apply, and after that is done, it adds one of the columns that always visible. It is the approval status, and it's a very simple feature. Just adds the simple approval functionality to your document library. You can select a file, click on the PL, and start the approval request to any person you want. So, for example, I will send one to Nate right now. Once that approval is submitted, you will get a notification in Teams. The Teams notifications are enabled by default. And I don't have the Teams here, but basically I can show you that the request is visible in Teams. This is might take some time for it to show up. Anyway, we'll see it a bit later, I guess, after it syncs. But you don't have to use the Teams. Basically, all you can do is available in SharePoint. So, oh, that's why I didn't see it, because I sent it to Nate, not to myself. But essentially, in the Nate, we'll see the UI. So, like, for example, I can do send it to myself. And you can see that I can provide the details. I can provide the name. We pre-fill it with the file name, but if you want to put something else, that is also available. The new feature that we are adding to this approvals functionality is the multi-stage. So if I want to send approval to Nate, and then I want to also make sure that the big boss approves, I can send it to Vesa. I don't know if I can change it. Hey, here's Vesa. And essentially, how it functions, it's similar to the approvals app in Teams. Nate will have to first approve that request, and if he approves, that will go to Vesa to approve for the final approval. Only then the status will change to approved. Let's see if Nate approved. But yeah, these requests are available in Teams in the sent, and yeah, these are the ones. Oh, okay,
just approved.
one's already approved. Yeah, awesome. So that build will be updated. So this is a very lightweight functionality, and it's available for users to use. But if you want to add some more customization to this approval functionality, what we actually do is there's a bunch of columns that we add approvers, responses, and approval creator that essentially they cache some of the information that is available for the approval request. So for example, when I sent the approval request to Nate, he is available in the approvers column. Because I created the approval request, I'm available in the approval creator column. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do some simple automation with Power Automate and this feature. So for example, if you're not happy with the default set of the features that we ship with this kind of lightweight feature for now, you can build your own customizations. So let me move the bar. I will go to Power Automate and essentially create a new flow. I'll start with automated. I'll create the SharePoint trigger. Because I want to track the changes and modifications to the document library that I have, I'm going to take this trigger and find my site, find the document library. No, that's the wrong one. And then I will do the switch statement. So essentially, when you have a trigger on the SharePoint document library and you have approvals enabled on that document library, we have the synthetic column called approval status. And approval status is a complex column. You can either see the label, which is the human readable, or the value, which is just an integer, which is very easy for the conditions and comparison. I will do the label just for the demo purposes today, but keep in mind that it is localized and it might be sometimes it might be easier to change to check the value, the integer value, not. Essentially, what I want to do is say if the approval status label is approved, I want to send an Outlook email. Oops, sorry, that one is not available for us. Okay, and I want to say. So if I switch, basically we have those same people column available in the triggers. So if if it's approved, I essentially want to send the email to the approval creator so that they know that their request is approved. And I can use some values from the trigger. So for example, we have the file name with extension. So for example, you can see which document was approved and put some body. The different case, so I have the same for rejected. I will not copy it, but the interesting one is the requested. So essentially, when the approval request is created, you want to notify the approvers that they got a new request. So we'll do that. And here I will choose a different column. So basically, we have the approvers, and it's a multi-value column because essentially you can have multiple approvers on the same request. So it automatically adds the for each loop, and you can have here we can add some links to the document, so it's easier to open the document. Item. Okay, and I can save that. Oops. So that flow, what it will do every time the status of the document change, the approval status of the document change, because that status only changes when the approval operation is done on the file, not when regular changes happen. So when regular changes happen, actually the the status will get reset to the not submitted. So this flow will only trigger when there is an approval request operation. So if I create a request, the email will send out. In order, like, I don't want to go too long on the demo. Here's the sample email that I built from the flow yesterday. This is the email when request is created, so I can open the document. Here we open it in the view mode, so there is no accidental edits on the review documents, and you can review that. And when request is approved, we get a separate email when it is approved. And obviously, because this is just a demo, and what is available, you can add other actions that you can have once the request goes through the approval state and all of that. If the Power Automate is a bit too complicated, we also have the rules capabilities enabled. So you won't be able to customize the notifications, but it is possible for you to have the rule where it says that let me see. Okay. I will not demo that here today. So basically, you can create a rule that triggers on the approval status change and send the notification to the particular columns, either to the approval creator or to the approver. So the similar functionality can be built with SharePoint rules in a very simple manner. Like, it won't be as customizable as Power Automate, but it is a way to add the email notifications as well. And then very soon, we're going to ship a new action in the Power Automate SharePoint connector where you can create an approval request for an item of the file as a separate operation on the connector. And you can, I only have the screenshot here because we are not shipping it just yet. We're doing some final validations, but you can see that we are going to support both the default approval and the multi-stage approval, and you will be able to define the approvers, whether you require a response from all approvers, and so on. Then I'll switch to the quick steps feature. So just to demo some quick scenarios. So we have this new feature called quick steps that Nate presented in the slides. Because I have approval requests enabled on this library, I can create a quick step that essentially sends the request to the same person, or like to the predefined. The quick steps is a way to create quick actions with the predefined parameters. So for example, I send the documents for review to Nate very often. I can create a quick step to say to Nate for review. And what I can do is, because I pre-filled all the values, I actually don't want to have the confirmation dialog. And so once that is created, the new command for the selected files is available in the Automate menu in the command bar or on the right click here. And because I pre-filled all the parameters and I don't have the confirmation dialog, I can essentially do the multi-select, right-click, automate, and say Nate to the review, and it will essentially create 3 approval requests to Nate and send all of them together for the quick review of multiple documents from Nate. That's the so you saw some of the actions that we support on the quick steps for now. I hope that more is coming. My favorite action from the quick step is executing the flow. And you might be familiar with the manual flows that are available on the libraries and lists. So essentially, if you create a flow with a selected item or selected file trigger, they show up in the Automate menu as well. Here with the quick step, the new type of the quick step, the execute a flow for document library, essentially what I can do is I can execute any flow, not just for a selected item, but I, for example, have the flow here, just a manual flow with the button trigger. It doesn't take any of the item metadata. What I can do is I can get the flow identifier, and as Nate mentioned, that flow can be in any environment. It doesn't have to be in the default environment. I have it in my personal environment. And then I go to the quick step and say, send word. That's just a flow we use for my team. Put the ID here. And essentially now I can go to automate as well. I don't have any items selected, and I can execute the flow, run the flow right from the SharePoint library. So I don't have to go to the Power Automate portal. If I have some flows that I run like very commonly, I can have some inputs and I can define them here and run, and then I can just do all my work from SharePoint.